The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. You are watching the Final Four presented by AT&T. In Tampa, Florida, we know South Carolina is headed to the national championship game. Who will join them? Will it be Connecticut or UCLA? Two of the brightest stars in the country about to go at it. Lauren Betts, a first-team All-American at the heart of UCLA. And Paige Bueckers breaking record after record in this tournament for Connecticut. Here we go.
What does it take to leave your mark? What does it look like to be a champion? Is it the unstoppable, unshakable, shaped and sharpened in the shadow of excellence? And then there's the legacy. Standing on tradition, not resting on it. The stage is the biggest. Lights the brightest. The stakes are the highest. When they answer the question, who will be the one?
Well, who will be the one tonight to join South Carolina Sunday, 3 Eastern on ABC in the national championship game? Will it be UCLA or will it be UConn? As we welcome you courtside once again. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. So happy to be with you here for the Final Four on ESPN. Rebecca, you look at UCLA, a historic season already for them, and at the heart of everything they do in the middle is 6'7" Lauren Betts.
Lauren Betts has been a dominant force all season long for UCLA in both offensive and defensive ends of the floor. She's a shot blocker, a rim protector, makes her presence felt on the interior defensively. And then on the offensive end here in the NCAA tournament, she's averaging 23 points on 75% from the field. Send 1, 2, 3 defenders at her. It simply hasn't mattered.
And when she scores 20, UCLA is undefeated this season. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers has had an incredibly decorated career, but she has taken it to another level in this NCAA tournament.
Paige Bueckers is playing the best basketball of her career in the NCAA tournament, averaging a cool 29 points per game, doing it efficiently, getting to any spot on the floor she wants to get to, finishing, getting and ones, getting her teammates involved as well. Paige Bueckers has simply been magnificent.
Our last 3 games, sensational. Most points over a 3-game stretch by any Connecticut player in program history. For a little more on Paige, let's send things over to another Hall of Famer. Here is Holly Rowe.
Well, the legend of Paige Buckets started when she was very young. At just 5 years old, she did a report for school that said, "I like to basketball," and the rest is history. She got such popularity as a young kid in Hopkins, Minnesota. As that legend grew, so did her fame. She got to UConn with a lot of fanfare, but then injuries started to strike. Even though she was the National Freshman of the Year, she was plagued with an ankle surgery, knee injury, missed the season with an ACL. Fought her way back with great grit and determination, leaving no stone unturned with her rehab and recovery. Got back to icon status. She is everywhere as a media darling, but the redemption has been real. Her scoring, her pace, everything she's doing right now as a player is great. And Paige said it best herself. Some people play basketball, some people love basketball. I live basketball, and she'll get a chance to prove that again tonight.
Holly, terrific stuff. You know what else we get to hear from Paige? We get to hear her introduce her teammates. It's time for Capital One Meet the Players.
This is the UConn Huskies. Starting at forward, the big, strong Adonga, best freshman in the country, Sarah Strong. At shooting guard, everybody calls her the People's Princess, AZ Foot. Our 6'5" Egyptian queen, Jana El Alfi. Our basketball genius, Caitlin Chen. And at head coach, the evil genius himself, Gino Auriemma. And last, you got the nonchalant final boss, Paige Bueckers.
40th season for Gino Auriemma, an 11-time national champion, most in Division I history. And for UCLA, they are led by Corey Close, the AP and Naismith Coach of the Year. Time to meet Corey's players with Gabriela Jaquez doing the honors. Capital One, meet the players.
I'm Gabriela Jaquez, number 11 from Camarillo, California, and these are my Bruins. Angela Dugalic, the super senior Serbian sensation. That's Dugi. Hey. Kira Rice, more commonly known as Kiki. She is the best dancer on the team. London Jones, the staggering 5'4", self-proclaimed prettiest on the team. Lauren Betts, the shot blocker, showstopper that will always laugh at my jokes.
I got you guys.
The Coach Corey Close isn't afraid to drive her moped to Poly. Let's go.
Oh, just terrific. The moped looks fun as well. Here we go. Final Four action. Connecticut, UCLA. We are underway in Tampa. A trip to the national championship is on the line. Winner will face South Carolina, 3 Eastern on ABC on Sunday.
UConn starting out in a man-to-man, and of course, what are you keeping your eye on? Lauren Betts and how UConn can defend her.
Connecticut comes up with a steal. AZ Fudd lays it in. A good sign for Connecticut to get an early one to go through for Fudd.
Corey Close told us one of the biggest keys for her team was to not turn the ball over and lead to easy buckets the other way for Connecticut.
She said Connecticut already has too many layups, too many threes. You have live ball turnovers, and they get those even easier. Dugalic, back iron it off. Betts tracks it, but it's whacked away by El Alfie. Here comes the freshman Sarah Strong. Sarah Strong digs in and lays it home. A good start here for Connecticut.
Caitlin Chen was running the left side of the floor in transition, but for the past 2 weeks, the Connecticut coaching staff has been telling Sarah Strong, take it yourself, shoot it, do not pass it. They need her to be aggressive offensively.
Strong has been terrific in this tournament, averaging 17 points, 12 rebounds, leading the team in assists as well. And a foul called here on El Alfie as she picks up her first.
Sarah Strong, a post player with handles. You see Caitlin Chen running the left side of the floor. Could a pass have been made by Sarah Strong? Maybe, but it wasn't part of what was in her mind because of what the coaches have been telling her. Take it yourself.
At 22 points on 8 of 13 shooting in the Elite Eight. Here's Betts getting another touch. The All-American dives in and finishes. Lauren Betts gets a touch, and good things happen for UCLA.
That time, Connecticut does not send any help, any double team. Expect them to do a variety of things defensively against Betts in this game.
El Alfie waits and gets denied by Betts. Out of bounds, it'll stay here with Connecticut. The 100th block of the season for Lauren Betts, who's averaging more than 3 a game.
Just patience. She does a great job. Uses her dribble, turns, finishes, can go over either shoulder with either hand. And then here gets the block on this end of the floor.
Inbound to Strong, left it short. Dugalic the rebound.
Did Kiki Rice get a piece of that maybe?
Maybe. Rice able to curl it in on the attack. Nice response from UCLA after the first 4 went to UConn in transition. Both these teams can get up and down. Bueckers off. El Alfie the offensive board and the putback.
There was a switch on the on-ball screen, which left Betts on Paige Bueckers, and that left a guard on Janet El Alfie. Why she was able to get that offensive board put back.
Alina Arnesalo into the game for UCLA off the bench as London Jones takes a seat early. Here is Betts. El Alfie already with 1. Double comes, and a 3-second violation is called.
You'll see the switch on the on-ball screen here, and Paige Bueckers comes out, gets it back, likes the shot, but then you see Janet El Alfie with the size advantage and size on the inside on the guards to get the O board.
Bueckers comes back to the basketball. Bueckers on a historic run. Had a career-high 40 in the Sweet 16. Followed it up with 30-plus in the Elite Eight. Chen to Strong. She got it. On a three. Here's Rice. Gets held up by Fudd. Rice dishes out. Betts wants it, and now Alfie comes around to knock it away. Here comes Bueckers. Into Strong, turning, dishing. El Alfie can't finish it. That was a gorgeous pass from Sarah Strong. El Alfie just couldn't quite get it to drop. Here's Dugalich backing into Strong. Dugalich, great fake, and the left-handed finish.
Coach Oriama told us he wanted this to be a really fast-paced game. Go up and down. When you don't have the size to combat a 6'7" player, you try to tire her out.
Beautiful basketball on both ends early. Bueckers scrapes it up, dishes out. Strong. No. And rebound collected by Rice. 4 minutes into the first quarter. Here's Kiki Rice. The junior backs away, dishes out. Arnasalo gets it into Betts. Face-up jumper. Rims off.
After getting that 3-second call a few possessions ago, you see her step out of the lane a little bit farther than her comfort zone.
Bueckers works around the hedge. Bueckers gets it back, fires. Can't hit from three. And the rebound taken in by Jaquez. Gabriela Jaquez led UCLA in scoring in the Elite Eight for the first time this season, as El Alfie comes around again to knock away a post-entry pass.
This has been a great start for Janet El Alfie. We've seen her get an offensive rebound put back. We've seen her now a couple of times move her feet and get around defensively. Janet El Alfie, all season long, has been taking the brunt of Coach Oriama in practice, especially over the course of this NCAA tournament, because he knows how important she's going to be in moments like this.
She came up big in the regular season against South Carolina, has been mostly quiet otherwise, and tonight, Jana playing here in Tampa in front of her parents, who have made the trip from Egypt to see her in a UConn uniform for the first time. And they have to be just delighted to be here first and foremost, but with the way their daughter has started this game against the best center in the country, Lauren Betts. Now Alfie loses it there, poked away by Barker and off the bench for UCLA. Arnasalo swivels it in transition. (9-8), Connecticut leads UCLA more than halfway through the first quarter. Chen pulls up and drains the jumper.
Caitlin Chen was terrific, and UConn's Elite Eight win. An added bonus for them when she can get her mid-range shot going like that.
Betts gets a touch. Tamia Gardner in off the bench for UCLA as well. Betts couldn't get it to drop. Again, was pushed out just enough. Here comes Bueckers. Bueckers yet to score in this game. 3 straight 30-point games, matching her own Connecticut record. The first to do it in the tournament. Bueckers is on the board in the Final Four.
She used that screen beautifully to get to her pull-up.
Boy, what a fast back and forth pace to this game. As Bueckers ties Brianna Stewart for 4th most points in NCAA tournament history. Caitlin Clark at the top of that list. 5 turnovers for UCLA already. Bueckers turns the corner. El Alfie wants some help, also needs to tie her shoe. Here's Fudd. She got it. Connecticut with 6 more field goal attempts than UCLA, and Corey Close's key to us before the game was we have got to take significantly more shots than Connecticut, as Strong picks up her first, and Betts will have a chance for 3. Timeout on the floor with 3:05 to go in the first, and Connecticut leading by 5. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? The Final Four is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And now for tonight's Need to Know, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. It has been an incredibly decorated career for Paige Bueckers. And she's had a lot of success in the NCAA tournament, but still seeking that first championship. Lost in the Final Four in 2021, then to South Carolina in 2022. Lost the entire season in 23 to a torn ACL, and her team fell in the Sweet 16. Last year, lost in a tight game to Iowa in the Final Four, and now her fourth Final Four appearance, trying to get over the top and deliver Connecticut its record 12th title. As we send things over to Holly Rowe.
In the UCLA huddle, Corey Close pointed out 0 offensive rebounds. That's a huge focus for them. As you said, Ryan, they need more shots than UConn. That's one way they can get them. She also said, we have got to stay connected to 35-5. That's Sarah Strong and Paige Bueckers. We've got to make them give up the ball. They know they run so much two-game with them. They want them to get the ball out of their hands, force other people to beat them. And last but not least, Lauren Betts has got to get deeper seals. UConn pushing her up the lane. She's got to get deeper to get her position.
The post players for Connecticut have done an outstanding job of pushing Betts just a few feet away from that area where she completely dominates under the cylinder.
Now something to watch, Rebecca. Now Strong is the 5 in this lineup as Strong connects on another 3. Sarah Strong also has one personal.
So this is going to be a tough guard for Sarah Strong on the defensive end because she will have Lauren Betts. It will be an equally tough guard for Betts on the other end.
Here's Barker, the handoff. Rice spinning, had it poked. And a held ball. Possession arrow belongs to Connecticut. That is going to be a 6th turnover for UCLA.
Sarah Strong here, she has been money from the three-point line over the course of the last couple of games, and it's going to be a tough task for Lauren Betts to come out on the perimeter and defend Sarah Strong there.
You know, Ariema has told us if Sarah Strong was coming out in the draft this year, she would be a lottery pick. I think everybody would concur with that, the way she has played this season in this tournament. Here's Fudd. Fudd's 3. Banks in! Well, AZ Fudd, who started the Elite 8 0 for 9, starts the Final Four 3 for 3. 10-point Connecticut lead. Barker nearly lost it. Barker trying to take Bueckers, fading away, can't get it to drop. Betts working through some contact from Strong, was unable to finish. Here comes Connecticut in transition. Arnold dishing, Shades 3, no.
And on this end of the floor, when Connecticut's in their smaller lineup, it's Paige Bueckers who can play the 4 position. We saw her on Barker last possession defensively.
And Corey Close felt like Barker would have to be big in this game for UCLA for them to come away with a win. Thought the 4 possession in general would. Here's Betts, back to work on Strong, able to finish. KK Arnold came over but could do nothing against Betts.
The previous possession, KK Arnold was able to get her hands on the basketball, but not that time.
21-13, Connecticut in front. Winner faces South Carolina. Bueckers off. Barker the rebound. Championship game Sunday, 3 Eastern on ABC. Here's Rice kicking out. Barker, and a foul on the floor against Ashlyn Shade.
AZ Fudd gets open because Sarah Strong sets a tough screen. Kiki Rice trying to fight over, not quite there. Friendly bank, and then here, Lauren Betts just taking her time, a couple of power dribbles. The strength, because KK Arnold did get her hand on the basketball.
Yes. That's a first-team All-American. Inbound goes to Jaquez. First in program history for Lauren Betts. Here's Rice. Betts with El Alfie there. Strong doubling. Gardner's 3. Nearly banked in, and it's tapped out of bounds by Betts with 18.7 left in the quarter.
That's an area where Lauren Betts really excels. She feels the double team. She's not rushed. She finds the player who's open on the weak side of the floor. Does that as well as any big.
So Gardner missed there. She went 5 for 8 from 3 in the Elite 8 win for UCLA over LSU. Here's Bueckers, 3 seconds left. Bueckers at the buzzer. You bet. A 10-point lead after one for Connecticut. We'll hear from Gino Auriemma when we come back. Paige Bueckers has been electric all tournament and ends the first quarter of this semifinal with a bang. All right, Holly, Gino, thank you very much. Let's check out how they're fueling the run, brought to you by Wendy's.
12 of UCLA's 13 points have come in the paint, but Janet Alfie, UConn's 6'5" center, has been making Lauren Betts work for where she's catching the basketball. A 3-second violation, then Alfie coming over on the top side, deflection and steal, then another deflection and steal. Jen and Alfie can have a massive impact on this game for UConn without scoring another point. She is the only player that has the kind of size that can combat what Lauren Betts wants to do.
23-13, UConn leads UCLA. Connecticut finishing that first on a 14-5 run. This is the largest deficit at the start of the second quarter this season for UCLA. The overall #1 seed in this tournament. They've lost just 2 games all season. Both of those were to USC. They eventually avenged that with a Big Ten championship win against them, and another turnover from UCLA. There's 7. Fudd can't get it to drop. Bounces out to Bueckers. Her jumper is off as well. Fudd is going to let it go out of bounds.
Last possession, UConn in a zone defense. We talked about the fact that they're going to change things up at that end of the floor.
Bueckers, Arnold, Fudd, Strong, Alfie. The 5 for Connecticut. London Jones, Jaquez, Gardner, Rice, and Betts for UCLA. Here's Fudd off the handoff. 6 to shoot. Fudd leaning, got hit. Foul called on Kiki Rice, and free throws here for AZ Fudd. The Bird and Taurasi Show, presented by AT&T, is back for its 4th year, currently airing on ESPN2. And for Sunday's championship, they will be on ESPN at 3 Eastern. Diana said she's liking retirement thus far. Didn't have to start up the engines in January for the season. Feeling good about the decision. As Fudd hits the first free throw. That foul was UCLA's first of the game. Called on Rice. Fudd off to a good start here in the Final Four. 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting.
Connecticut continuing to extend its pressure.
Jaquez couldn't twirl it in. Here's Fudd attacking. Fudd's pull-up is good. AZ Fudd is dialed in Tampa.
And this pressure is as much to take time off the shot clock as it is to try to get a steal. Again, Connecticut in a 2-3 zone.
Connecticut is just on a string right now. Dugalich turns. No. Strong the rebound. Here's Arnold. And going the other way. That's going to be on Alfie, and that is going to be her second foul. And you can see Gino saying, come on, Jana. So a second foul on Alfie, who's been critical to what UConn is doing early in this game.
You know what, that's not completely on Jana, though. She's trying to get her feet set, and Kiki is just coming, or KK is just coming too quickly towards her. The guard has to let their post get set so they don't get that moving foul called.
So Alfie goes to the line now. Ice Brady, who's dealt with a shoulder injury this season. You see the brace on her left shoulder into the game. Kiki Rice, courtesy of Railcamp. Betts surrounded. Rice has it deflected by Bueckers out of bounds. 12 to shoot for UCLA.
You see in this zone, as soon as Lauren Betts caught it on the block, a second defender came. She made the right pass. I think UCLA, if they had one more to the corner, they could have had an open look for 3.
They've not heard much from Jaquez yet in this game, who was terrific in the Elite Eight, and a 5-second violation on UCLA. That is their 8th turnover. UConn has taken 7 more field goal attempts already than UCLA. That was key number 1 for Corey Close. She said, I know UConn's likely to be more efficient than us. We need to have extra possessions. It's gone the opposite way in the possession game thus far. Bud giving it up. Arnold dishes. Ice Brady waits to the corner. Strong. No. And Betts on the weak side trying to spring a break for the Bruins. Here's Betts, the All-American. Twists inside, couldn't finish it. Barker gets held up, and it's out of bounds off of UCLA. It'll be Connecticut basketball. How about the swarming defense from the Huskies?
You see it in the zone. As soon as Betts makes her move, here comes Paige Bueckers. Here comes AZ Fudd. No matter which way Lauren Betts was going to turn, there was going to be an additional body there.
And definitely last hit Barker's hands out of bounds. Great call underneath the hoop. And a whistle here will go against UCLA. And Gabriela Jaquez, as Corey Close makes her case. Corey Close, the consensus coach of the year across the board this season, as Bueckers can't hit that one. Close taking this program to its first Final Four in the NCAA era. Went to 2 semifinals in the AIAW days, won its national championship then in 1978. But since 1982, when it became the NCAA, this is their first trip. As Strong catches the air ball off of bounds.
Great recovery, though, by Paige Bueckers. Helped in and was still able to get out with a strong contest.
Bueckers lost her defender. Corey Close wanted an offensive foul on Bueckers. Here's Strong off the screen and roll. And a travel on Sarah Strong as Connecticut turns it over for just the 3rd time this half.
You see the in and out, and the ball comes in. Help. Watch Paige Bueckers still able to get out, recover, contest, affect the shot. And this has been the story for UCLA this season. Lauren Betts consistently been terrific as an anchor inside. In their losses, they have struggled from the 3-point line. Vitally important for UCLA to find some perimeter shooting.
Yeah, their 2 losses, they were combined 7 for 33, 21%. As Betts gets a deep touch and finishes on the delivery from Barker. This season, UCLA 25-0 when they hit at least 6 threes. Here's Bud. Thought about pulling, instead will drive it. Bueckers getting a breather for Connecticut as Arnold rims out. Barker the rebound. Can UCLA take advantage? No. Barker just throws it out of bounds, trying to get it to Rice, and immediately her teammates on the bench stand up to try and encourage her, calm her down after the turnover as Barker checks out and Gardner comes back in for UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA's out of sorts. They're out of sorts a little bit, and Kiki Rice doing a good job bringing them in together.
10 turnovers for UCLA. They turn it over just 15 times per game on average. Arnold looking in. Arnold spinning, dishing. Brady's mid-range is good as Connecticut takes advantage again on a UCLA turnover. A 14-2 edge in points off turnovers in favor of Connecticut. Here's Gardner. Jaquez dumps it in. Betts just going right to work on Ice Brady. Lauren Betts, 11 points. Arnold gets fouled by London Jones, and KK Arnold will shoot 2. We'll step aside. Connecticut a 12-point lead midway through the 2nd quarter of this national semifinal game. Winner earns a trip to play South Carolina in the national title. So far, it's Connecticut off to a great start tonight in Tampa. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One is brought to you by Wendy's. Try Wendy's fresh, juicy hamburgers today. Well, Connecticut a 29-17 lead over UCLA midway through the second quarter of this Final Four matchup. Rebecca, what are you seeing from Connecticut defensively right now?
Well, we've seen them play both man and zone defense. The zone has been incredibly effective. You see it, just a simple 2-3, but allows them to collapse in on Lauren Betts from every direction. She had a nice pass out, turnover by UCLA. Then another possession of zone where they're trying to get it inside. Another turnover results. Connecticut's zone has been very, very effective. One more possession here again. It enables multiple players to come. Now, Lauren Betts, the last two possessions of the game, Ryan, has scored. And UConn was in man on both of those possessions. So I'm eager to see here out of this timeout if the next possession defensively, if they'll be back to that zone.
Betts has the last 9 for UCLA. And one of the things that Corey Close has talked to us about is all season long she was trying to create manufactured chaos for her team so that they could learn to adjust and thrive in those positions. She said, I was trying to find the right balance every day of practice between struggle and joy, create that healthy tension. Felt like that's what her group needed after they fell in the Sweet 16 last year to LSU. Has obviously worked up until this point, getting to the Final Four for the first time in the NCAA era, and going to need that now, down 13 to Connecticut.
Connecticut in man-to-man.
Here's Betts with Brady on her. Betts dishes out. Rice will take the 3 and hit. That's a big one for Kiki Rice in UCLA.
What a tough shot as well. It wasn't just a catch and shoot. She had the step back going to her left.
Rice, the talented junior, first team All Big Ten this season. Here's Bueckers looking to take Betts. Fudd off. Rebound. Shade was in there and a held ball. Possession arrow belongs to Connecticut. Hey, coming up at halftime, it's the Dove halftime report with Elle Duncan, Andrea Carter, and Chiney Ogwumike. Break down South Carolina going back to the national championship and reactions to the first half of this game. How about how outstanding Joyce Edwards, the freshman, was off the bench in the first game tonight?
Getting a chance to see two of the top freshmen in the country here in this Final Four with Sarah Strong and Joyce Edwards.
Here's Fudd's jumper. She got it. Azzi Fudd, 5 of 7 in this first half. And that created by Ashlyn Shade on the offensive glass, getting them another opportunity. Here's Betts, draws 2. London Jones gets absolutely smashed by Paige Bueckers. That'll be the 3rd team foul on Connecticut and the 1st on Bueckers.
Once again, the right decision by Lauren Betts when the double comes, and great pump fake by London Jones, but certainly absorbs a ton of contact from Paige Bueckers.
Inbound and a foul on Fudd. That'll be her first. The 4th team foul on Connecticut. Not much of a reaction from Gino Auriemma on that one. Arnisalo tiptoes baseline. Big shot here for Jones. Airmailed it. Here comes Chen. The Princeton transfer to the corner. Fudd. You bet! Azzi Fudd is on a Tampa burner. Connecticut has won 21 straight when Fudd scores at least 15. She already has 16. Now off the steal. Fudd can't get that one to fall. Betts the rebound. Rice dashing ahead. Rice, the elongated Euro, couldn't finish it.
She should have gone right into Paige Bueckers. Paige has 1, would not have picked up 2.
Chen flags it down after the poke away. Bueckers looking to turn the corner, leaning, can't hit. Defended well there by Betts. Corey Close talks to us all the time about Betts' ability to still defend guards in space at that size. Here's Betts. Deep catch, got pushed too far underneath the hoop. Fudd. Pull-up jumper. That one's off. Rice hugs the rebound, but it gives Connecticut a chance to tie her up. This time, UCLA has the possession arrow.
Azzi Fudd, we know what an incredible shooter she is, especially when she's feeling it and gets hot. That time just steps into it. You know, Ryan, we talked in the Elite Eight game. Azzi Fudd really struggled for much of that game shooting the basketball. And out of a timeout, Gino Auriemma ran a play to get her going. She got going in the fourth quarter, and she is still hot since that game.
Azzi joked with us when they first drew up the elevator screen play. She said, wait, is he really drawing it up for me right now? She had been 0 for 9 at that time through 3 quarters. Here's Dugalich turning, flipping, and banking it in, as Strong had to be careful with 1 foul already.
Really nice finish by Dugalich.
Bueckers ended up in more space than expected and said, okay, I'll take it. Arnisalo loses it. Strong has it in transition. Bueckers, what a feed! The touch pass!
Azzi Fudd getting it done on both ends of the floor. Gets the steal. The get ahead. Paige Bueckers up. Tap before she comes down. What a fast break for the UConn Huskies.
Well, Azzi Fudd with an absolutely outstanding first half thus far. 16 points on 6 of 10 shooting. And her shot chart, well, it has a lot of green. Azzi Fudd tonight has been aggressive and efficient, shooting 60% thus far this evening. As we take a look at tonight's Players Spotlight, brought to you by Marriott Bonvoy. 18 points in the previous 2 games combined. But this is the thing about Azzi Fudd, Rebecca, and we've seen it throughout this season. She can go through lulls and then all of a sudden explode for 30. First 2 games of this tournament, she was outstanding. Shot 16 of 25 from the floor, 9 of 14 from 3. Then, as you saw, cooled the last 2. But she clearly has heated back up here tonight.
And that's certainly been an area of growth in her game, because in previous seasons or even at earlier times this year, if she started out struggling a little bit, it might mean she was going to struggle for the entire game. Or if she struggled one game, it might mean it would carry over to the next. And certainly a sign of maturity for her that that is no longer the case.
Meanwhile, South Carolina in the house, taking in the action, taking in some food after they took down Texas in the semifinal earlier today, headed back to a national championship game, and we'll play the winner of this one as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Azzi Fudd on a tear right now, and you know, we told you about the adversity that Paige Bueckers has overcome. How about Azzi Fudd? She went 728 days without playing in an NCAA tournament game. Her knee injury, her struggles to come back. She said there were times I wasn't sure if it was worth it, but I stuck with it, and here she is on the biggest stage.
Coming back to Connecticut for another season next year, as Strong comes up with a knockaway. Another UCLA turnover, their 13th. Corey Close just shaking her head. Chen fakes the 3. Fudd, one more. Oh, yeah. Azzi Fudd on a torrential tear here in Tampa. 19 in the first half. Rice, no. El Alfie the rebound. Connecticut looking like a machine in this first half. Bueckers. El Alfie. Back to Fudd. Fudd gives it up. 10 to shoot. Bueckers from the logo. Airballs it out of bounds. Shot clock turned off.
Out of a timeout, Corey Close draws up a play, wants the elbow entry. Sarah Strong knew it was coming, deflects the ball, corrals it, switches sides of the floor, and ends up with another big shot for UConn.
Now, Holly gave those numbers about time between games for AZ. It also was 961 days that passed, and Paige and AZ played just 2 games together over that span. They came to Connecticut together to play together. Finally are getting that chance this season and coming through. UCLA went too early there. Time for Connecticut. Chen with 5 seconds left. Bueckers wrapping around. Strong. Does she get it off? She does not. And that will do it for the first half. Connecticut, a 20-point lead at the half. AZ Fudd with 19, and Connecticut allows their fewest points in a half this season. They force 13 turnovers and head to halftime with a nice cushion as Holly Rowe, better be careful the heat coming off of AZ Fudd.
AZ, you got the very first basket of this game. How do you know when you're on a game like this?
This is something like when you're in the Final Four, there's no off. Like you got to be on, whether shots are going in or not. Like that's a mindset that you're on.
You had to wait so long to play in an NCAA tournament. Here you are back this year. How are you taking advantage of every second you're on this court?
I'm so sorry, I'm out of breath.
You should be. You should be. I'm giving you time to catch it, catch it, catch it. Okay, now answer.
Yeah, staying present. I mean, I was here my freshman year. I don't remember a single thing. I was so nervous. So just being able to enjoy everything about the Final Four. This is such an incredible moment to be in with my teammates. So make sure that we're leaving nothing on the floor, not taking anything for granted. And like, this is a great team. My favorite, or not my favorite team, a special team. So, you know, we're going out, giving it all every single minute.
All right, thanks, AZ.
So sorry, thank you.
Okay, you're great.
AZ wanted to make sure not to offend any other teams as well. AZ Fudd with 19 in the half. Time to get things to the Dove halftime report. Elle Duncan, Andrea Carter, Chiney Agumake with UConn. A 20-point lead over UCLA. You are watching the Final Four presented by AT&T. Getting ready to start the second half in Tampa, Florida. And South Carolina awaits the winner of UCLA and UConn. Connecticut, a 20-point lead over UCLA as we welcome you courtside once again. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. Connecticut just looked fantastic in that first half, especially AZ Fudd, as we take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance.
And AZ Fudd showcased the versatility of her skill set. Defense leaves her in the corner, steps back, but confidently into the 3. Here, drop coverage. Her defender gets caught on the screen. 6'7" shot blocker coming at her, still able to score. Dribbling to the left behind the 3-point line, then coming in using her right hand, the little floater in the lane. I mean, she was just absolutely ridiculous in that first half offensively.
Let's check out tonight's game track, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. The big difference, the turnovers. UCLA turned it over 14 times in that first half. Connecticut, a plus 15 in points off of turnovers. For a little more on UCLA, let's send things over to Holly Rowe.
Corey Close gathered her team into a big circle, and then she stepped inside. An impassioned plea. We've got work to do, but you've got to do the work. But the most important thing is that we do it together. She knows this team is better than they've shown so far. They've got to protect the basketball and get back to being UCLA.
They were down big in the Big Ten championship game to USC and were able to come back and win that. Trailing by 20 to begin the second half tonight. El Alfie gets denied, but a foul as London Jones was stuck on Jana El Alfie.
It looked at parts like UCLA was in a zone defense, but they could have just been in a switching man-to-man defense. Either way, London Jones ended up buried in the post by Jana El Alfie, and El Alfie's going to win that battle every time.
Yeah, you're talking about 6'5" on 5'4".
I like the odds for the 6'5" on that.
Yeah, no, that feels strong. El-Alfi misses both. And UCLA catch a rhythm here in this second half. 22 points for the fewest Connecticut had allowed in a half this season, as Rice couldn't quite get the roll. Did all the hard work, and then it was halfway down before spinning out. Stays here with the Bruins.
Sarah Strong did a good job of coming over and contesting that shot while staying completely vertical so she would not pick up a foul.
Here's London Jones, surrounded in the corner. Back to Rice. Jaquez has it taken away by Bueckers. Was trying to get it into Betts.
El-Alfi had fallen down, and that's one way you defend the post, is by limiting.
Wow, Bueckers able to hit over the extended arm of Betts.
The entry pass. It's not nearly as exciting.
No, I know how much you love extension on entry passes.
Limiting the entry pass, right? Come on.
London Jones lost her footing, then the basketball. The second half starting the way the first half went for UCLA. Fudd lobs it in. Chen, what a feed! And Strong finishes it. UConn is just humming in transition tonight. A 23-4 edge in points off of turnovers. Kiki Rice across her body, gets a whistle, and will shoot two.
Paige Bueckers dancing with the basketball, comes off the screen. Betts tries to close out, and then how about this? We saw a very similar play in the second quarter from the UConn Huskies. Just a beautiful touch pass for a layup.
A lot of highlights tonight in transition from Connecticut, as Rice makes it 43 straight free throws made in the NCAA tournament. And survives the announcer jinx.
You've only got good juju coming on.
That's
You're
right.
not jinxing
Let the people
anybody,
know.
friend.
Here's Chen. Bueckers, pull-up jumper is short. Arnesalo into the game for UCLA. She subbed in early in the first half for London Jones as well. Dugalich, no look. Jaquez didn't take it right away. Dugalich trying to get it down to Betts. Caught the net, but Betts still was able to gather and finish.
Lauren Betts does a really good job of that. If she's caught off balance, she gives herself the patience and the grace to get her feet under her so she can finish.
Betts with 13, the rest of UCLA with 13. Strong kicks it out. Fudd run off the line and then loses the handle. Here comes Arnesalo. Out to Dugalich. Her three is off. Kiki Rice keeps it alive for UCLA.
You know where I am, begging for a foul there.
Here's Rice. Betts working El-Alfi. Betts, swim move inside, couldn't finish it. And the rebound taken in by Connecticut. Down the floor, Chen got free, bounces back. Bueckers pulls the string. Bueckers just 4 for 13 in this game. 8 points. Comes into this one 3 straight 30-point games. Matching her own Connecticut record. First time a Connecticut player's done it in the tournament, though. As Betts again digs in deep and finishes. 15 for Lauren Betts. Betts, who will return to UCLA for another year to play with her sister Sienna, who was just the McDonald's All-American Game MVP. And another turnover here from Fudd, back-to-back. Rice kicks it out. Jaquez, whoa, way too much on it.
Again, a really nice contest and recovery by Paige Bueckers defensively.
Here's Chen. Attacking, dishing, El-Alfi finishing. Meanwhile, UCLA just 1 of 7 from 3 in this game. Jaquez on the cut. Can't get that to drop. Jaquez the rebound. Again, unable to finish. Been a tough night so far for Jaquez, the hero of the Elite Eight. Bueckers separates and hits.
You heard Andrea Carter during the halftime show talk about UConn and the pace with which they're playing. They want to go fast, even if it's after a made bucket or a defensive board. Doesn't just have to be a steal. This is a team that wants to go fast, try to tire out UCLA.
Connecticut a 22-point lead midway through the third. A trip to the championship and a meeting with South Carolina on the line.
Welcome back to Tampa, where Lauren Betts has more than half of UCLA's points, and she is working hard, directing traffic, trying to figure out a way to get her team back in this one, collecting herself, finishing inside. It has not been easy. The battle of the bigs, Jana El-Alfi and Lauren Betts scoring that one as well. It's been a tough battle inside so far tonight.
Yeah, 15 of UCLA's 28 points for Betts, who's had a historic season. First player since 3-time WNBA MVP Asia Wilson to have 650 points, 300 rebounds, 100 blocks in a season. Here's Gardner coming free, rims out on a 3, and Strong able to collect the rebound for Connecticut. So Gardner, who hit 5 threes in the Elite Eight, now 0 for 2 from deep, and UCLA as a team is 1 of 8. Here's Strong, the freshman, directing traffic. 10 points, 6 rebounds for Sarah Strong. Arnold dumps it in, knocked away by Gardner. Here comes Rice. Rice, then a loose handle. Arnold nearly got to it. And Gino Auriemma feels like Rice went over and back there as Rice then gets fouled by Paige Bueckers. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Rebecca and Ryan, you detail Lauren Betts' impact on the court, but I think her impact in March Madness goes far beyond that. She came with an article on ESPN.com and was very vulnerable, sharing her mental health struggle from a year ago where she had to step away from the team. She was hospitalized, asked for help, and her openness and willingness to be vulnerable in that article and talk about how she did the work to improve her mental health, it has inspired a lot of people. And as we met with her earlier this week, tears were streaming down her face as she described, "I feel like I'm watching my younger self heal." And she said she's had a lot of people reach out on social media with DMs saying, "You have helped save my life. When you are struggling, the strong thing is to ask for help," and Lauren Betts is teaching us every single day.
Beautifully said, Holly, and it was so powerful reading that story and then being in the room, hearing Lauren talk about it and get emotional, recounting how many people have reached out to her to say thank you for the way that she has helped them by telling her story. Bueckers can't get that one. Volleyed up in the air, ends up back with Bueckers. Strong at 3 is good.
Kiki Rice is working so hard defensively, trying to prevent AZ Fudd from having a similar second half to what she had in the first half. And then Sarah Strong can just step in and make another player hitting a 3 look easy.
Strong's third 3 of the game. UCLA 1 of 12 outside the paint in this one. Betts gets a touch, trying to take Brady, draws 2 into the corner, pass not on target. Arnesalo couldn't cup it in. Bueckers flies back for her 5th board. Fudd gives it up. Bueckers dances inside and finishes, plus the foul.
UConn is moving the ball so unselfishly and quickly, and then there, Paige Bueckers dicing, slicing through the lane, gets hit right in the neck, able to finish anyway.
Dugalich picks up her first. Bueckers with 12 points. Misses the free throw. Connecticut just 3 of 7 from the line in this game. Normally a very strong free throw shooting team.
Look at the energy KK Arnold is providing on the defensive end of the floor.
Here's Jaques. Over to Bet, center of the lane. Bueckers scraping at it, and it goes out of bounds off of Connecticut. Hey, don't miss the Women's NCAA Championship game on Sunday. Coverage begins with Eldre and Chene at 2 Eastern on ABC. For more information, go to NCAA.com. You're home for all 90 NCAA championships. We'll have Tip on ABC right around 3 Eastern, and then Bird and Taurasi on ESPN at 3. Air ball, foul stays here as Shade gets whistled for the personal. Lauren Betts 7 of 13 from the floor. The rest of UCLA 5 for 22.
And as UCLA continues to struggle to hit from the perimeter, that just gives Connecticut permission to continue to dig down and help inside on Betts.
Gardner a 3. That one is good. It's Amia Gardner, the Oregon State transfer, who had 5 in the win against LSU. Strong left alone, connects her 4th 3 of the night, and the freshman is up to 16 points. Here's Barker, Euros in, loses it out of bounds. Last hit Connecticut with 1:31 to go in the third.
So much attention on AZ Fudd that when she cuts to the basket, 2 defenders go with her. The result, Sarah Strong wide open from 3.
Here's Betts, handing it off. Barker in the corner lets it fly and hits from 3. Now, she hit 3s at Texas A&M, shot it at 36% for 2 years there. Here, that's just her 6th 3 of the season with UCLA. Fudd, pull up? No. Barker screams in for the rebound. Final minute of this third. Fudd has not scored in the third after she had 19 in the first half. Been more Bueckers and Strong this quarter. Rice, missed that one badly. Up ahead, Strong in transition, fillets it home. Sarah Strong up to 18 points. 10 of them here in the third. The lead is 25 for Connecticut. And a whistle underneath against UConn. That will put UCLA at the line. Gino Auriemma has to like a lot of what he has seen tonight. This team has forced 16 turnovers. They have a 23-5 advantage in points off of turnovers. Connecticut shooting 53% as a team and 47% from 3. Betts. It's the first free throw. And hits them both. Lauren Betts doing everything she can for UCLA. Now it's 17 points. Strong has 8 of the last 10 for Connecticut. Here's Fudd, 4 seconds left in the quarter. Brady lines it up. Can't hit, and that will do it for the third. Connecticut leads by 23 after. Well, Corey Close and UCLA facing a 23-point deficit here to begin the fourth quarter. The winner will go the Sunday's action to face South Carolina in the national championship game. A coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Final Four continues tomorrow on CBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com.
Heard Corey Close talk about needing to get defensive boards. I think they also need to get some steals because that for them can lead to scores quickly. I mean, they, in the Big Ten championship game earlier this season, they came back from 13 down in the third quarter to beat USC. But this is a different beast here in terms of the pace Connecticut's playing and their ability to score efficiently. I think they're going to have to manufacture some things by getting turnovers and fast points the other way.
Kendall Dudley will inbound for UCLA, getting some minutes here. The freshman has not played yet tonight, is a normal part of the rotation. Plays about 12 minutes a game. Here's Rice. Off to Gardner, launching way off, and El Alfie able to dig up the rebound.
The balance for Connecticut on the offensive end. Azzi Fudd only took one shot in the third quarter, but Sarah Strong had 10 points. They just have so much balance across the board.
Strong gets a catch, finishes, plus the foul. It's another 20-point night for Sarah Strong.
A beautiful high-low pass. Jana El Alfie up top. Sarah Strong holds the seal. She's got incredible hands. Finishes. Opportunity for the and one. We had a chance to meet with her the other day and how shy she can be in certain settings. And did you see like the embarrassed smile on her face as her teammates are coming over and chest bumping her and giving her fives?
Although Paige Bueckers swears that behind closed doors, Sarah Strong is, quote, a yapper. Oh, Kiki Rice couldn't quite pizza pie it in. Here's Chen. Chen looking for Bueckers. Off to Fudd. Fudd stood up. 7 to shoot. Chen lets it fly. Off, and Gardner the rebound. Azzi Fudd with 19. Bueckers with 12. Sarah Strong with 20. That trio has been the most efficient trio in basketball this season.
Another terrific closeout by Paige Bueckers when the ball went into the post and then reversed.
Bueckers smooth.
UConn has worked on that, not only here at the Final Four, but in the regional as well, doing multiple drills of getting the ball in the post, doubling, and then Xing out, and Paige Bueckers has done it brilliantly here today.
Bueckers seeking that elusive first title. Bad steep catch and a foul on the floor. Now Sarah Strong hit the 20-point mark. Historic for her. UConn freshman with 20 in a Final Four game. It's just Maya Moore, Brianna Stewart, and now Sarah Strong. And Stewie in the building.
Stewie's like, I did it twice.
A 4-time national champion. Well, there's never been anybody better at this time of year than Brianna Stewart. 4 straight national championships, 4 straight Final Four Most Outstanding Player awards. Lauren Betts able to finish. Lauren Betts up to 19. The lead is 25 for Connecticut. It'll be a quick turnaround to Sunday afternoon for these teams. Here's Strong, fakes the 3, gonna drive it and finish it. Sarah Strong, the freshman, is always under control. She has 22.
It's a 6'2" post player who is 9 of 12 and 4 of 6 from 3. Has played sturdy defense all game long as well.
Ties her tournament high with 22. Betts surrounded. Rice looking back in. Dugalich lets it fly. No. Rebound. Chen had it, and then Shade fouls Jaquez. Chen in the area as well, but it's Shade who gets the personal.
Sarah Strong, you have to contest because she is a threat from the perimeter. A couple dribbles inside, and then has such nice finishes when she gets to the rim.
Holly?
Well, Gino said that UConn saw Sarah Strong in a nondescript gym the summer after her freshman year. Jamel Elliott was walking through the tournament, and she saw Nikisha Sales, a former UConn great. She said, "Where are you going? To a court way out in the back?" She said, "Well, there's this kid out there." And so she went out, she saw her for the first time. Jamel Elliott quickly called Gino and said, "I just found the best player in America," and she's not far off. Freshman of the year this year nationally, and Sarah Strong continues to impress. But good job, Jamel Elliott. You saw a good one.
Yeah, Gino Auriemma said it was an AAU program where, you know, they don't put you anywhere near the premier gyms. So it took some finding. And then Jamel immediately called him to say, yeah, I found the best player in the class. And Sarah Strong has just been incredible. And even talking to Gino Auriemma earlier this season, Rebecca, he would marvel at the instincts for the game that Sarah has, the things you can't teach, and how she does so many upperclassmen-like things right away in this collegiate career.
And she comes into this Final Four leading UConn this NCAA tournament in assists.
Right.
Her feel is just incredible.
She's the #1 recruit this past year as Arnold picks up the personal in the backcourt. Sarah Strong with yet another 20-point game. She has matched Maya Moore and Paige Bueckers for the most by a UConn freshman in the last 25 seasons, as Chen whacks that out of bounds. We talked about that number with the net rating for Bueckers, Strong, and Fudd entering this game. When those three are on the floor together, they have outscored opponents by an absolutely absurd 48 points per 100 possessions. And tonight, that number likely to only go up. We can't guarantee it because it's already really high, but they've been pretty great together again. Timeout taken with 6:21 to go in the fourth. Connecticut a 27-point lead. They are 6.5 minutes away from a rematch with South Carolina. We all know where you're going to be. 3 Eastern, Sunday. ABC, Connecticut trying to lock it down.
Way, Ryan, Rebecca, Holly, back to you. Looks like we don't have to squint too hard to see what's coming on Sunday, do we?
Well, Scott, it is definitely trending that direction. Thank you very much. Connecticut has just been firing on all cylinders, really, from the time this game tipped. And a 68-41 lead over UCLA, the overall #1 seed in this tournament, with 6:21 to go in this fourth quarter. AZ Fudd, who had 19 in the first half, has taken just 1 shot in the second half. Aubrey Griffin getting minutes now for Connecticut. She did not play in the Sweet 16. Then in the Elite 8, came on to start the fourth quarter after USC had gone on a run and cut Connecticut's lead to 5. And Griffin played a big role in why Connecticut was able to separate in that fourth from USC.
One of UConn's best athletes, can certainly be impactful on both ends of the floor.
Connecticut's big 3 was all delivered tonight. Here's Griffin handing it off. Arnold bounces in. Oh, what a look. Strong to Griffin, unable to finish on a really nice looking play. Under 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Here's Kiki Rice. Corey Close has talked about how much Rice has grown in her ability to read the game as the point guard while still being a downhill driver. That's always her first instinct. Dugalich can't finish. Another good contest from Bueckers. Strong hands it off. Bueckers goes cross court. Chen through the lane. Can't flip it in, but gets a whistle. And Caitlin Chen is going to shoot too.
We showed that graphic a little bit ago of UConn's big three and how they performed here today. And when we met with Coach Oriam a couple days ago, he said he could point to 3 games this season where he thought they played well as a team. Louisville, Iowa State, and South Carolina. And I have a feeling that when we meet with him tomorrow, assuming this score holds,
he's going to add this one?
He will add this one.
I loved L. Duncan quiz Paige after Gino had left. He said, all right, Gino said there's been 3 games only where you guys have fired on all cylinders. Can you guess them? And Paige nailed all 3.
She did.
Gino talked the other day about how much he's going to miss Paige Bueckers. They've had such a unique relationship throughout her career here over 5 years at Connecticut. Remember her freshman year as she checks out to a nice ovation here in Tampa. The famous back slap of Gino Auriemma.
Backside slap?
Yeah, backside slap. Remember talking to Diana Taurasi and Sue Burton, them telling you as well, we never would have gotten away with that as a freshman with Gino.
Nor would they have tried.
But those two have a really special relationship, and pretty soon Paige will be moving on to the WNBA draft, where she is the projected #1 overall pick, which the Dallas Wings currently have. As Betts hits the jumper, it's been a good showing for Lauren Betts. 23 points, 10 of 16 from the floor. And an outstanding season from the first-team All-American, who will be back for UCLA next year. Strong, nice look. Arnold banks it in. 29-point edge for Connecticut. Jones throws it away out of bounds, and it's going to be Connecticut basketball. 4:15 away from a trip to the national championship game. Well, the most national titles all time by a head coach in women's basketball, Gino Auriemma with 11, seeking a 12th. And if he's going to get number 12, these are the players who are going to lead him.
And he gets his stars to play on both ends of the floor. Watch Sarah Strong here, comes down, double teams Lauren Betts, goes out, contests the shot, and then what does she do? Sprints the floor, beats everyone down, gets an easy 2 the other way. And how about Paige Bueckers? Doubling the post, and then when it comes out, sprints out, gets the closeout. The shot eventually goes up from UCLA, and she gets the ball on the other end and scores.
A complete performance tonight from those stars, and Gino Auriemma now has Fudd, Bueckers, and Strong all out of the game. As El Alfie can't hit the jumper and out of bounds, we check in with Holly.
Well, Paige Bueckers has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. Over 2 million followers on social media. All eyes are on her all the time. And we saw Gino Auriemma pull her aside in their last round in Spokane. And when I asked Paige, what did he say to you? She said, all I need to worry about right now is what does my team need from me tonight? In Spokane, it was 40 points one game. Another game, it was 8 assists. But tonight, it's been defense. Her 3 steals, her defensive pressure. Every single round, we have seen Paige give her team what they need that night, just like Coach Auriemma asked her to do.
And right there, they needed a big reaction on the bench after that take from Jana El Alfie. Thank you very much, Hal. That was interesting, too. Gino said he was talking to her about how he can feel that, too. He said when there's outside expectations or you have a lot of fans are following, you can get caught up in, what does this mean for me? Do I need this title? And the way he focuses himself in these moments is he says, what does my team need from me today? And Paige told us that that mentality is really what unlocked her into those zone modes she was in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Just simply staying with that mindset. Rice fires a pass in. Betts turning, will finish, plus the foul. Lauren Betts with 25. Now we are on the brink of Connecticut and South Carolina. The rematch. Connecticut went into South Carolina, won 87-58. It was a stunning performance. Up until that moment, Connecticut had lost their games against primetime competition. As you see the celebration for Jana El Alfi, her family here, her parents in from Egypt to watch her for the first time. She played great tonight. But it was interesting, Rebecca, talking to Gino earlier in the tournament. Ooh, look out. KK Arnold takes a big hit from Kiki Rice. And the foul called on Rice. Gino Auriemma said, look, that South Carolina game, every break went our way. They didn't hit shots, we hit everything. You look back, some of the shots they missed early go down. It's a completely different game. We know if we were to play them again, it's going to be a completely different story as Lauren Betts goes to the sideline for UCLA. And Rice picks up her 5th foul. The inside-outside Stars seasons are done for UCLA as Connecticut adds on a little more. Arnasalo buries the 3. That's out of bounds. Rebecca, how about just putting a bow on the season for UCLA? A historic one for them. Lauren Betts, obviously emotional as it comes to a close after her sensational season. The National Defensive Player of the Year. A first-team All-American. And UCLA in the Final Four for the first time in the NCAA era, which dates back to 1982. Went to 2 semifinals, 78-79 in the AIAW. Won a national championship in 78, but it has been a long time for this program and pretty incredible accomplishment this year for UCLA and Corey Close.
Certainly, and winning the Big Ten Conference Championship in their first season in the conference, and you know, just putting on dominant performances, ranked #1 for most of the season. They have most of their players returning for next year. As you mentioned earlier, adding Sienna Betts, one of the top recruits in the country.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
No.
They will be right back competing amongst the best teams in the nation next season. As Arnold hits both. 31-point edge for Connecticut. Get to see the top 2 freshmen in the nation on Sunday with Joyce Edwards and Sarah Strong. UConn and South Carolina, who developed a nice rivalry in recent years, met in the national championship game in 2022, a South Carolina win. The only loss Gino Auriemma has taken in the national championship game, as Brady squeezes it in, plus the foul. And the Connecticut bench is having a party.
A great pass, a tough catch by Ice Brady, but the lefty here able to finish it with her left as she's falling out of bounds.
Brady completes the 3-point play. Any early thoughts looking ahead to Sunday?
It is going to be an absolute fun game to watch, high-paced. I cannot wait to watch these 2 freshmen, Joyce Edwards and Sarah Strong, compete with one another. Yeah, I think we're going to have a much closer game than what we saw in the regular season.
Arnold gets fouled and will go to the line. Paige Bueckers and Sarah Strong, all smiles. Strong with 22, Bueckers with 16, AZ Fudd with 19 all in the first half. Oriema told us earlier this year, before the Tennessee game, even when Connecticut was struggling a little bit and then lost that game that night, he told us, I'm going to have a really good NCAA tournament team. Then before the South Carolina game, he said to us, you know what? I'm going to have a great NCAA tournament team. Well, the man who's won more games than anybody in the history of college basketball was right. Here's Caroline Ducharme getting some time here. Throws it away. Shot clock is turned off. Get your popcorn ready. Connecticut, South Carolina, coming your way Sunday afternoon. UConn headed to its 13th national championship game. A dominant performance, 85-51 the final. And Sunday, 3 Eastern on ABC. It's Connecticut and South Carolina. We'll hear from Paige Bueckers in a moment. For our producer, Kerry Callahan, director Jimmy Platt, the Hall of Famers, Rebecca Lobo and Holly Rowe. I'm Ryan Rucco. We'll see you Sunday, 3 Eastern on ABC. Paige Bueckers coming up in a moment. Now let's get it to Sports Center with SVP.